In this video, we'll be talking about SuperDuper Kyle, a lot of hip-hop rap, and how he's making an impact in today's generation and in nerd culture.
I've been practicing it for many years.
Welcome, hybrids, to Ambitious Variety. And welcome, you hybrids. Today we're gonna go and talk about Sex and Super Smash Bros. Sex and Super Smash Bros. By Kyle. Now, nerd culture has been entering in mainstream hip-hop and rap, and how it's been taking an inspiration. How mainstream, like Nicki Minaj and Chun-Li. And next up is Kyle. Is about 25, born in 1993. Made a song called Sex and Smash Bros. And he as often actually gets compared to Drake from his rapping and notoriously disclaimed that that's not it. And he's also been associated or referenced as Chance the Rapper, Kid Cudi, and Childish Gambino. This is America. What? This is America. First off, let's get started with, what do you feel how nerd culture has been becoming mainstream and how popular, not like nerdcore artists that specifically talk about video games and anime and comic books and TV, but these mainstream are being inspired by nerd culture and their Kyle, or aka KID, or aka SuperDuper Kyle, or aka Kyle Harvey, his original birth name. He was born in a small town in California, Reseda. Reseda, R-E-S-E-D-A. At the young age of 6, he began singing and performing. Like all people, they go through their own trials and tribulations. Ethnicity was being called into questioning. He was a lot of cross-cultural or culturally crossed individuals in America. In California, he usually plays at Ventura in Ventura, Cali. His songs is I Spy, featuring Lil Yachty, Playing With Me, featuring the mighty Kalani, and of course, his big hit, or I like to call his big hit, Sex and Super Smash Bros. And this is what we're going to be talking about. But before we do, we're going to give you, the audience, a little bit of insight on Kyle, SuperDuper Kyle. SuperDuper Kyle, and his name is SuperDuper Kyle. It is often reported that everyone high five, tell everyone good morning. He was at his best a happy-go-lucky guy. He was always caught smiling, and that's what he gives to his audience. That's what gives value to his music and to his audience. He wants his audience to feel happy. He wants his audience to feel and give them that satisfaction of value through his music. There's tough times everywhere, but in his super groovy, laid back, bars all over the place, he wants to give back that feel good. Younger, he had to deal with the fact that he was not black enough or not white enough, and his culture and his ethnicity was always coming into play. But in recent years, he has started accepted who he has and is, and goes along with whatever in his magnificent life. In the Thomas fire that happened in his little town, he goes back in some articles and states that he was reflecting in his past and how that his house got burned down and his friends actually suffered more than how he came. And let's get in the meat of who Kyle is. In 2016, he let his inner nerd out by wearing the chest plate, the battle armor of Prince of All Saiyans, and his 20 at the Riviera Theater in Chicago, February 27, 2016. The person who took that picture is Chris Cortez, part of Aesthetic Magazine. SuperDuper Kyle is all about authenticity. SuperDuper Kyle is all about showing people who he really is and what makes him who he is. SuperDuper Kyle has often been associated with people like Kid Cudi, which Kid Cudi actually was his main drive, his main inspiration. At that time period, Kid Cudi was the one talking about depression in some of his songs. Kid Cudi was talking about these issues that Kyle related to and grew up on while he was facing his struggles. He wanted to let the audience know who he was, and who he is Kyle. Kyle is his name. Kyle is who he is. And that super duper part is a reference and an ode to being, well, superhero. He wants his audience to know he's a superhero. That what he does in his song, Doubt It, he states, I got a superpower. Right off the bat, this new G is all about the nerd culture. And he's, now the song, we're going to be getting into Sex and Super Smash Bros. Sex and Super Smash. Pop culture. Super Smash Brothers was made in 1999. I believe it was like made in 1999 with the ever lovable Tanky DK, with the Italian Mario, the needy Bowser, the cross-dressing Zelda, the confused Link, and the cuddly pink little blob Boo. Nah, I'm just messing with you. It's Kirby. It's Kirby. It's Kirby. Okay, now Kyle is part of that culture that is growing. He's part of that hybrid going and won't stop. In his past trials and tribulations, in his new upcoming singles with whomever he does it with, Kyle will always be Kyle. And Kyle wants you to know and wants to give you those little warm little fuzzies that's inside you. And he wants to let that out and blossom. He wants to be a true role model. He wants to leave a mark and impact that world and impact the culture that he's in. Kyle is an ode to not only culture, not only to Japanese culture, not only to Nintendo culture, but he's an ode to the past, the present, and the future. Kyle, he is changing people. He is collaborated with, he is influential. Kyle is going, and he's going far. He's going so far. Like when Ness hits a bat, boom, Kyle's going to the stars like Falcon Punch. Like when Fox travels the star system. That's how far Kyle is going in this today's world, in today's culture. And I say that Nintendo should be sponsoring Kyle because Nintendo should understand the power that Kyle has. And if you want to know more, Kyle may not be nerdcore, but Kyle is a nerd, and his jams are hardcore. The song Sex and Smash Bros is so good, it's searchable. It's too searchable. It pops up whenever you type in Smash Bros, you get Kyle. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. My computer knows me too well. Kyle invented that song Sex and Super Smash Bros to jam out. He wanted to play some games. And Super Smash Bros is a legendary video game. So who wouldn't want to play some video games with Super Smash Bros, right? But he wanted to play that game, and and the thing about it is he wanted to play that game with someone special, with a girl. And he wanted to get groovy with that girl while playing that game. Kyle is going far. And in today's generation, being authentic and being able to relate to not only a specific type of audience, but a world audience, a generational audience that grew up on that. Because Kyle is 25. I grew up on Super Smash Bros. I grew up on Japanese pop culture, Japanese entertainment, Japanese video games. Should Nintendo have their own music label? Comment below, get a conversation started, and discuss, and we'll talk. Please leave a like, a dislike, a share, and a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts on all things hybrid news, hybrid content. Links in below for all my social medias, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and my website, Ambitious Variety.